Okay, now I am audible to all.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Okay, so
ma'am.
what is the last class? What we studied? शायद remote sensing है ना? So
Yes, ma'am.
types of remote sensing used in India, that is also discussed. IRS series, Rohini series is used. Rohini series, Indian Rohini series 1A, 1B, 1C, 1D. Okay. And also discuss last topic was sources of energy. So source of energy is either active, either passive. So what is the difference between active source of energy and passive source of energy? What is the difference?
एक्टिव सोर्स से डायरेक्ट थ्रू सन से वो वर्क कर लेता है, बट पैसिव में मुझे एक्सटर्नल एनर्जी का यूज करना पड़ता है, जैसे फ्यूल ये सब।
Okay, Satyendra Narayan Chaudhary, please mute your audio. So active and passive source of energy for remote sensing. So in passive remote sensing sensor, passive sensor respond to external. Satyendra Chaudhary, please mute your audio. External and active sensors use internal stimuli to collect data about Earth also. So passive के लिए हमें क्या होता है, सन रेज की जरूरत होती है. Passive, in passive source of energy, main source is the sun, and it works by its own electromagnetic wave. Okay, so in passive energy source, radar is an example of passive. Okay, so what is radar? Radar is a radio detection and ranging. Okay, next is the LIDAR. LIDAR is also passive remote sensing. So active remote sensing, film photography, infrared, charge coupled device, and radio meter. These are the active. These are the radar is the passive remote sensing, and active remote sensing. Example for active remote sensing, that is infrared, film photography, charge coupled device, and also radio meter. So these are the difference between active and passive, and also discuss about passive system and active system. So in passive system, the sun provide a very convenient source of energy for remote sensing, and sun energy is either reflected or observed and then re-emitted. Okay, so mainly for passive source of energy, passive remote sensing, it depends on sun energy, and active source of energy, it is independent, it works on energy source. So remote sensing system which measure energy that is naturally available are called passive sensor. So due to dependent on sun rays, so sun is natural source, so it is also called passive sensor is also called naturally available sensor. Passive sensor can only be used to detect energy when the naturally occurring energy is available. Okay, So in case of passive system, passive sensor can only be used to detect energy when the naturally occurring energy is available. That means the sun is available. And for all reflective energy, this can only take place during the time when the sun is illuminating the earth. That means if weather is cloudy, if bad weather condition, then sun rays is not illuminating. So in that condition also passive system is not in working condition. So there is no reflected energy available from the sun at night. So at night passive system is not work. Energy that is naturally emitted such as thermal infrared energy can be detected day or night time. For active system, the sensor emit radiation which is directed toward the target to be investigated, and the radiation reflected from that target is detected and measured by sensor present in active system. So what is the advantage of active system? So advantage of active system is the ability to obtain measurement anytime, either night time, either daytime. Okay. So regardless of time of day or season, or also in bad weather condition, it also in working condition. Okay, so this is the difference, or also this is the advantage of active system. So require the generation of fairly large amount of energy to adequate illuminating target, as for example laser fluorescence and a synthetic aperture radar. SAR, this is a type of active sensor or active system of remote sensing. So the sensor emit radiation remote sensing platform. So now we have to know about platform. So which type of platform is used for remote sensing? So first is the ground level remote sensing. That means ground level platform. So in ground level platform, remote sensor are very close to the ground, and they are basically used to develop and calibrate sensor for different feature on the earth surface. Second platform is the aerial remote sensing. So in aerial remote sensing, it is platform is placed at low altitude aerial sensor, also high altitude aerial remote sensing. Okay. Third platform is the space war remote sensing. So in a space war remote sensing, platform is placed on a space shuttle, either a polar or Whiting satellite or geostationary satellite. Okay. So these three are the platform used for remote sensing. First is at ground level condition, that is ground level remote sensing platform. Second is the aerial remote sensing. So in aerial remote sensing, platform is in air, either at low altitude or high altitude from the earth surface. Third is the space borne remote sensing. So platform is in a space. So first platform in a space is the in a space shuttle, either polar or Whiting satellite or geostationary satellite. Okay. So from each of these platforms, remote sensing can be done either in passive mode or in active mode. So these three platform used also for active sensor, also for passive sensor. Okay. So remote sensing platform. See the diagram. Here differentiate three type of platforms. Lower one is the ground level remote sensing platform. In middle, aerial remote sensing platform, and highest one is the space-borne remote sensing platform. So see the difference at here, this is the example for ground level remote sensing platform. So here is the at this point sensor is placed for used for lower height. This is the target. This ground level is the target. Okay, so at this level camera is placed. Next is the aerial remote sensing platform. So either platform is camera is fixed on the base of the balloon, either on the base of the aeroplane, helicopter, or at the aeroplane. So in aerial remote sensing, two types of platform in two ways platform is placed, either in low latitude or high altitude. Sorry, low altitude or high altitude. So in low altitude, either balloon is used or helicopter is used. Okay, but at high altitude platform, aeroplane medium is used and camera is fixed at the base of the airplane. Okay, so airplane also at high altitude also radar is used. So airplane high altitude in this platform also radar, MSS radar is also used. Final and highest remote sensing platform, that is the spaceborne. So sensor is placed at a space. So in a space, either in form of geo satellite or orbital satellite. Next is the ideal remote sensing system. So on the basis of source, ideal remote sensing system, the component of ideal remote sensing system is uniform energy source and non-interfering atmosphere, a series of unique energy and matter interaction at Earth's surface. So first ideal condition for remote sensing is the uniform energy source. So which uniform energy source provide energy over all wavelength at a constant known high level of output. This is the condition for ideal remote sensing system. So remote sensing system is based on or dependent on a energy source. So for ideal condition, energy source is available every time. That means source provide energy over all wavelength, constant range, and also known or high level output. Second ideal condition is non-interfering atmosphere. So non-interfering atmosphere which will not modify either the energy transmitted from the source or emitted from the object in any manner. That means energy should not be interfering in any manner. Third ideal condition is a series of unique energy that matter interaction at Earth's surface which generate reflected and or emitted signal that are selective with respect to wavelength and also unique to each object or Earth's surface feature type. So these are the ideal condition for remote sensing system. First is the energy system, second is the non-interfering atmospheric system, third is the no any disturbance either reflected or emitted rays, and fourth is the super sensor. So sensor used is should be super sensor. Okay, that means the wavelength and radiance is unique. Okay, and that respond to each feature. One more ideal condition is ideal component of remote sensing is real time data handling system. Okay, so real time data handling system, that means it is used for software or computer. So those information in form of reflected ray, emitted ray that received by computer or software. So that software or computer should be able to transforming the data or interpreting the image or processing the image accurately. So that component is also important. Real time or instantaneous data handling system should be perfect so that they processing the data or interpreting the image perfectly according to our observation. Next ideal condition is the multiple data users. So multiple data users, that means we are also users. So जो भी डाटा अगर हमें सेंसर के थ्रू मिलता है उस डाटा को हम लोग क्या करते हैं, आफ्टर प्रोसेसिंग वी कैन यूज दिस डाटा. सो दैट इज द ऑल्सो आइडियल कंडीशन. अगर रिमोट सेंसिंग यूज हो रहा है, इतने पैसे लगाकर सिस्टम बनाया गया बट उस डाटा का कोई यूज ही नहीं है, तो पूरा सिस्टम ही बेकार हो गया ना. तो दैट मीन्स also a multiple data users also a component for ideal remote sensing system. So super sensor which is highly sensitive to all wavelengths, and a super sensor would be simple, reliable, accurate, economical, and also require no power or space. So this sensor also yield data on the absolute brightness or radiance from a sense or as a function of wavelength. So super sensor means the source of energy, that is the radiation. Radiation should be sensitive for all wavelengths and also accurate and reliable. Also should be economical. A real-time data handling system. What is the real-time data handling system? So we generate the instant radiance versus wavelength response and also process into an interpretable format in real time. And the data derived is a unique to a particular terrain, particular object, and hence provide insight into its physical, chemical, and biological state. Multiple data users, that means we are the users. So users having knowledge in their respective discipline, also in remote sensing data acquisition and analysis technique. So the information collected will be available to them faster and at less expense. So this information will aid the user in various decision making process and also further in implementing this decision. Real remote sensing. So ideal remote sensing condition we have studied. Now real remote sensing system. What is the real remote sensing system? So ideal remote sensing system is clear to all. Ideal remote sensing system is clear to all. What is the component of ideal remote sensing system? What is the condition? Okay, so real remote sensing system is employed in general operation and utility, have many shortcomings when compared with an ideal system explained earlier, above. So first is the first difference between real ideal system and ideal real system is the energy source. So in real remote sensing system, energy source for real system are usually non-uniform over various wavelengths and also vary with time and space. So this has major effect on passive remote sensing system, and the spectral distribution of reflected sunlight varies both temporarily and spatially. Also, the Earth's surface material also emit energy to verify degree of efficiency, and a real remote sensing system need to calibrate the source characteristic. So this In for ideal remote sensing system, we have already discussed energy source should be also ideal. That means it 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 is the source of energy. That means wavelength should be constant. Wavelength should be at constant rate, also available at every time. That is for ideal condition. But in real condition में क्या हो रहा है? In real condition, this is also non-uniform. Also, wavelength is not constant. Various wavelength is available. Okay, and wavelength also vary with time and space. So actual condition is this type non-uniform condition. So in real remote sensing system needs calibrated for source characteristic. So for ideal condition there is no any problems, but in real remote sensing system it needs to calibrate the source characteristic. तो हमें क्या करना होता है, उसे थोड़ा बहुत जो हमें रिजल्ट्स मिले उसे according to actual condition it should be calibrated. Okay, it need to be calibrated. Then atmosphere. So for ideal condition, atmosphere कैसा था for ideal condition? For ideal condition, atmosphere is the non-interfering atmosphere. Okay, so but in real remote sensing system, the atmosphere modify the spectral distribution and a strength of energy received or emitted. Okay, and the effect of atmospheric interaction varies with the wavelength associated sensor used and the sensing application also. So calibration is required to eliminate or compensate this atmospheric effect. So in ideal condition, atmosphere is non-interfering, but in real remote sensing system, atmosphere also modifies and a spectral distribution and also a strength of energy received or emitted is not same. So atmosphere effect also calibrated for final analysis. Next is the energy matter interaction at the earth surface. So in actual condition or real condition, the remote sensing is based on principle that each and every material reflects or emit energy in a unique known way. However, a spectral signature may be similar for different material types, and this makes differentiation difficult. Also, the knowledge of most of energy and matter interaction for Earth surface feature is either at elementary level or even completely unknown. That means ideal condition remote sensing is not available for any condition. So for all effect, all component of ideal condition or real condition, we have to calibrate it in real. In realistic हमें क्या करना हो रहा है? All data should be calibrated according to its characteristic. The sensor also, in real sensor have fixed limit of a spectral sensitivity. That is, they are not sensitive to all wavelengths, and also they have limited spatial resolution. But in ideal condition, there is a not limited resolution, and also it is also sensitive for all wavelengths. Okay, so efficiency in recording a spatial detail, also resolution is limited, and selection of a sensor require a trade-off between a spatial resolution and a spectral sensitivity. So for example, while photographic system have very good spatial resolution and poor spectral sensitivity, then non-photographic system have poor spatial resolution. So these are the also ideal sensor condition and real sensor condition difference. Next is the data handling system. So in real data handling system, human intervention is necessary for processing sensor data, and even though machine are also included in data handling. So this makes the idea of real-time handling data almost impossible. So the amount of data generation by the sensor far exceeds the data handling capacity. Okay, so the multiple data users for real remote sensing system, the success of any remote sensing mission lies on the users who ultimately transform the data into information, and this is possible only if the user understands the problem thoroughly and has a wide knowledge in that data generation. So the user should know how to interpret the data generated and should know how best use to them. So this is the responsibility of users. So component is also discussed for ideal and real remote sensing system. Now we have to study about electromagnetic spectrum remote sensing. So this type of electromagnetic wave is used for remote sensing system. So on the basis of range of electromagnetic system, there are three type of remote sensing system. That is the optical remote sensing, thermal remote sensing, and microwave remote sensing. Okay. So first is the optical remote sensing. So for optical remote sensing, wavelength range is 300 nanometer to 3000 nanometer. Okay, just tell me one thing. How we convert nanometer into meter? Nanometer into meter. How we convert nanometer into meter? Please answer, anyone. How we convert nanometer into meter? ओके, मैं किसी से पूछती हूँ. सूरज राम. सूरज, आर यू हियर? सूरज.